dun. Yeah, it was alright. Mostly just working on stuff during that time. Hope you had a good 4th of July. I need my colors. You. Oh yeah, The Boys is fucking brutal. I remember when that first came out as a comic. I was just like, Jesus. It's way different than the show though, because they change a lot. Joanna's good for now. this? Yeah. Finally getting back into it. I'm still gonna work on secrets when I get a chance, because I'm trying to do more of my schedule. This page just took a while because a pretty decent amount of stuff was going on, and buildings suck and vehicles suck. So forgive me for being a bit slow. I was like, what was I doing? Do that. Still count. Rolls their fat ass in. No. Well, if you're tired, you don't have to drag yourself here. No. Go to bed. Hey, my time when I sleep is whenever the hell I feel like it. So I am not held to a schedule, though I probably should be, given my bad habits. My point stands. No, see, the problem is I don't sleep enough. At most, it's like 2 hours at a time, and then if I'm in the groove, I can just keep going for a good while of drawing. Like if I'm just doing something that I'm just hyper focused on, then I can just keep going. It's kind of why I don't need coffee. especially since coffee works differently for me, because coffee just makes me tired before it actually kicks in. It's like a really weird trade-off. Say, hey, we're gonna make you sleep and then you'll be awake. I'm like, what? Yeah, Black Noir is way fucking different. I'm very curious on what they're gonna do with them in the show. Because since they changed him so much, I'm wondering how they're gonna go about it. Or at least like what interesting gimmick or plan they have for him. He's already been teased to come back, I think, if I remember with the recent trailer. I think it was a trailer. Yeah, I think he was like teased to come back or something. And then and then even then, it's like we don't know what the extent of that is. Like we don't know if it's a clone or if he has like some kind of healing ability. Your Luna sequence is so fucking awesome as well. Yeah, like I try to mix it up with every drive so that they're not like entirely the same. It's not like the same instance or body type going on. So I try to like switch it up or at least focus a little differently on what parts get bigger than others. So some of them are likely to be hit and miss, but trying to keep things interesting. Yeah, sometimes you just got like here's another good advice to do. Like even if you can't draw a lot, even just drawing a little bit helps. So like let's say you have like a sketchbook. I mean, I'm assuming you already do, but you just work on something, even if it's like nothing major, but just like, you know, go at it bit by bit, even if it's only like 5 minutes at a time. It's like it's better than going long periods of time without working on anything. Yeah, like if you look at PewDiePie, he was only working on his artwork for like, what was it? Like 10 minutes at a time or something like that, or like just like small amounts of time before he started going longer and longer. And then he just started like, you know, figuring it out on his own on what to focus on, what to try to improve on. And then he just kept going. Like he even said like there have been times where he only had like just a few minutes to work on something, and then he would just like drop it for like that day. So like whatever he was doing that day, that was it. Like he didn't like return to it. He would just, you know, start the next day and go from there. But like you can always return to something you're working on, and heck, sometimes coming back to it, you'll see something with fresher eyes that you could do. Oh, you didn't bring our stuff? Never go anywhere without at least like paper of some sort, like even if it's just fucking a stack of printer paper or a notebook with lines on it. Like, you know, just bring something. Bring it at all times, like no matter where you go, you just have it in reserve in like a bag or something, just in case you get stuck somewhere. That's what I would do when I was younger. I would just bring my shit everywhere. just in case I got bored. Oof. Yeah, if you just literally have no time, then, you know, it is what it is. Can't blame you for things that are out of your control. Chonk snake. I know, we're getting there. Trying to draw only what I absolutely need to. Try not to put in too much filler when I don't need it. Okay. Get that. What do I need from you? Guess the makeup should be next. Yeah, snakes are pretty cool. I always like snakes. Wasn't feeling too motivated at the time until day 2. So well, that's good. I mean, it happens. Like sometimes you just don't have that spark going, and sometimes it's better to like not force something if you're just not feeling it at all, because then at that point you're just not having a good time. Like you're not even enjoying it at that point. We know what animals you like. Yeah. Though I do try to venture out a bit, which was why I made Eddie a hyena, since I haven't drawn a hyena character until then. I need to fix how Alex looks. I don't like the old artwork I have of him, so I'll need to fix that when I get a chance. And then I want to draw Blake's foster mom. So there's a lot I want to do. And nah, I can move that as yeah, I'm trying to get better at streaming more. Just a lot of the time I'm just like, I can do a lot more if I'm not streaming. Like nothing against you guys, it's just I don't know. Like right now I'm fine because I'm just kind of going through the flow. But when it comes to like sketching, it gets harder to like. I don't know. It's like it's not like I'm not focused. It's just for some reason like when you stream, it kind of takes longer than usual, and I don't know if it's just because, you know, I'm like reading chat or something like that, or if it's just like, I don't know, if like streaming is like somehow more draining, I guess. I don't know. It's a weird feeling when it comes to streaming. Okay, for a moment there I was like, what the hell was that? Anyway. Need to draw more sharks. Yeah, I only have like 2 shark characters, and one of them is still a sketch because I hadn't fucking finalized her design. And like, shit, when did I draw that? Because now Like, God, I hate my on and off flows when it comes to drawing ideas. Where are you? There you are. When did I draw this? Fuck me. Really? Jesus. I drew this back in 2015. Her ass needs a fucking overhaul at this point. Jesus, almost a decade since I drew that. Yeah, that... I can make that look way better. Anyway. Jesus. Juster, no. Let me scroll up because I know I missed some stuff. Though I learned something during my week of cat distribution system is real. That's good. Like cats usually like perk up if you're like on their good side. You're like, all right, like this guy's good. We're cool with him. Best part of Yin girls, they can appear it's pure. Yeah. Plum hooks up with a Yin girl only to get table turned on her. I mean, she probably wouldn't be against it, honestly. Closet full of character pack. Dude, I've been saving shit on my drive since I was 13. And that was like, what? 2001, if I'm getting my math right. No, was it 2001? I want to say yes. I'd have to figure out when I saved. Let me see if I can actually pinpoint inaccuracy on that. Fuck. What was the name? There was like a particular art site that I used to go to. And I know I saved the stuff because I know it's still here. I gotta remember the name. Is it this one? No, it's not that one. That's gonna get to me. I can't remember if it started with like a K or if it started with a T. I'll have to go through this, but I've been saving shit forever. And like, what was it? Back in like 2017, I think, if I remember correctly, there was a situation where one of my drives just died and stopped working. And that was like, and at the time, that was like 17 years worth of saved stuff, whether it was my stuff or just people's artwork that I've saved throughout the years, and couldn't get my drive to work. But I was for some reason my drive was working when I hooked it up to an old computer, like old computer, and I don't know the science. I don't know why the fuck it only worked on that computer, but it did. And it was going by kilobytes of information of how slow it was going at the time. And it took me a literal week to back up all of my stuff onto a new drive, or onto my backups and stuff like that. Which, now that I said that, I gotta back up my shit, so I'm definitely gonna do that when the stream is over. I'm just gonna back up my shit. Or at least when I'm done with this page. Don't show your porn folder. Trust me, that will never happen. It's on a separate drive than what I open up on streams. I have like six or seven drives, and then I have like a master drive that just has everything, and that is my backup that I back up Well, I'm trying to do it once a month, but sometimes it's every couple months or a few months. But yeah, like I have several drives now. But that won't happen. The most that could happen on stream is if I show you something that I drew myself. Which I'm careful about that because of Twitch. YouTube is a little bit more lenient. As long as I'm not drawing like fluids and shit or like actual fucking, then they don't give a shit. Like you can draw nudity on YouTube and it's fine. You just can't have them having sex and having like fluids dripping out and all that. It's kind of weird that YouTube is better than Twitch in that aspect. Okay, did that. So I should do her clothes next. Just to get that out of the way. I don't even know why I bothered putting a texture on her fucking cape or hood. It's not like anybody notices. I do too much extra work. It's like small little details that nobody notices. Every once in a while somebody might spot something that I did, but a lot of the time it's like, what? Is that the same color? No, I think this is darker. Yeah, it's a different color. Yeah, sometimes I try to have artwork that doesn't have that, like different versions of artwork that does and doesn't have like bodily fluids or whatever. It kind of depends on the artwork itself. And then sometimes I'm just like, eh, fuck it, I might just leave it there. No, it's not always cum. Like sweat or drool, water, can be cum, can be discharge. You know, it's a bunch of other stuff. It's not just cum. Most of my archive SD card. Yeah. I'll have to look into seeing what's like the biggest SD card I can get, and then try to back up my shit on those too, just in case, just in case the big ass hard drives that I have just decide to fuck me over. It's like, you know what? At least I did this. Because the master drive their backup drive that I save, I don't use it for anything other than backup. It's like I back it up and then I unplug it and put it back in the box and I put it away and don't touch it. Because I want the lowest amount of wear and tear on it. Big ass hard drive. Yeah, exactly. I should call it the fatty at this point. Because I think it's like 12 terabytes big. It's either 6 or 12. It's one of the two. No, I'm pretty sure it's 12 because I think the one that I replaced it with, or that I had before it, is a 6. 265 gigabytes is common biggest, unless you're willing to shell out cash for bigger shit. Yeah, if I can find something bigger that's at like a decent price, then I'll probably go for it. So I'll just have to look around. I can probably find something on Amazon. That's usually where I get my shit. Okay, so we're good on that. Don't think there's much else she's wearing that I need to see other than her cape. Okay. Her hood. But yeah, I've always backed up my shit anyway. But when the backup, or was it even a backup? I don't even remember. When because I would back up my stuff on external drives and then also back up my stuff on the PC itself. But when the drive was fucking up, that's what made me super paranoid. So I was like, nah, we're getting like actual backups now. So now I have like the main drives that I have, and then I have the backup, the big ass backup, because that made me paranoid as shit. And I'm already paranoid as it is for various things, so it was bad enough for me. But yeah, it took me a full-on week to back up my stuff because of how slow the drive was functioning. Like, I'm talking about 17 years worth of stuff in a week, and it was going by kilobytes. Terabyte macro card? That's not too bad, still. Like, if I were to back up everything that I have, I would have to use multiple of those, especially if it's going to be for like different things. Like, let me look at it. Like, one of my side drives is a terabyte. Another one is 6 terabytes. And the one where I host my own stuff is 4 terabytes. And I don't save that much stuff. Like, I've barely used not even a terabyte of data because of how small my files are. And then my C drive, it's like 500 gigs on its own. So yeah. 120? Damn, 120 just for 1 terabyte? Are you fucking kidding me? I'll look that up later. But still, fuck that. Damn. I'm better off with just the fatties. But I definitely need to take precautions. Like, worst case scenario, just, you know, get the multiple terabytes, back up whatever you can, organize that shit, put them away. Hopefully they don't get worn by weather and shit like that, and then that's pretty much it, honestly. That is not the color that her hood should be. I'm like, bitch, where are you? Nah, I shouldn't call her a bitch. She's a classy lady. I say as I remember that she's eating people. It's like, oh yeah, she did do that, didn't she? I like that I'm using red, especially since she's like a freakishly old character compared to most of the characters that I've shown. Especially in IHAD, she's probably like one of the oldest characters that I've had since like high school. And then just redesigned her to be cooler. There's just some random one. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna look around. Sometimes you can just find, and then brand matters too, because you don't want to buy a brand that just breaks too quickly. Because that was the case a long time ago with like Mad Cat stuff. So you could get them cheap, but then they would just like fuck you over. And then there was those like VMUs from Sega where the data would stay there, but like once the watch battery in it died, like your data would still be there, but if you tried to fix the time at all, that's when it'll delete your shit. So just never touch the goddamn time. I'll just put this up here. Doesn't matter. Make another one. You can go over here. There. Alright. Got her hood. We're good. Alright, move on. Drew her back in the 70s. I wasn't even alive back then. Just remember, Drew basically redo it. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would just constantly redraw shit back then. But yeah, I definitely need to back up my shit, so I'll do that either tonight or tomorrow. Because I do not want to go through that nonsense again. Luckily, my computer is pretty decent, so it won't take all day like it used to. That's cool. Yeah, like, just keep drawing, keep trying to improve. You know, look up whatever it is you need to look up to try to get better and stuff like that, and, you know, just have fun. I always feel bad when people try to, like, learn from how I draw. It's like, look, I have been winging it for over 20 years. Don't do what I do. I am completely winging it without any guidelines because it's all in my head. Like, I am visualizing what I need to draw and where it goes. It's not the same as what people usually do. It's like trying to mimic what I do is a fucking death sentence. There are some changes that I want to do, but I can't use them currently because I'm trying to stay consistent with this comic. And then, depending on how far I get with this chapter, I might end it so I can make other changes and possibly tweak rendering and art styles and all that to try to make things a little smoother and faster. Becky change. Alright, I need to make a new outfit for her at some point. What do you want? Do you want the nun or do you want the drunk? Dude. Monday's so drunk. Okay. There we go. She's like, fuck, it's Monday, I gotta go to work. Goes to work, doesn't do shit. Her boss is just like, what the fuck? She's like, just cover for me. And it's like, what do you mean cover for you? I'm your boss. I was like, well then I'll fuck you later. Let me take a nap. I know, right? She does gotta get through that week. Oh, yes. She loves Irish coffee. Yeah. It's like, oh, you drinking coffee, Becky? And she's like, nah, just alcohol. And it's like, what the hell? And he's like, I'm trying to cut down on caffeine. And they just stare at her. As she's just fucking drinking pure vodka or whatever the hell she's into at the time. Yeah, coffee makes me tired first and then it kicks in. And I should probably do this. Just to make it look like some defter pose. There we go. I got it. Yeah, so I just need to do her mouth. I'm tired and now agitated. After seeing everything, just yeah, I'm debating on how I would go about doing one of Marcy's mom. Part of me thinks like one where she has to fatten up for like a mission or something, and like it's like nothing related to Skylar. It's just she just had to do it on her own for like a random mission where she had to go undercover. But I don't know, the mission called for her to be chunky for some ridiculous reason. And even if that was canon, it's like something that she would just bury. She would never want that being brought up, and like only like Martin is aware of it, because obviously he would be around her at that point, unless it was like before she met him. But it would be funnier if it was like if they were dating. Yeah, it's like the target's into chunky women, so you're gonna have to bulk up. She's like, "Are you fucking serious?" She's like, "Can't I just wear a fat suit?" No, they'll be able to tell. And then she'll be all like, "Jesus fucking Christ!" And it's like, "Don't worry, we've prepared you a type of protein shake to help speed things up." Long Island SC. Yeah, she doesn't mind this, but she wants him strong though. And then when she really drinks, she just wants to make sure she can't remember what happened the night prior. She just wakes up going like, "The fuck did I do?" She'll be like, "The fuck did I do?" Then realize that she has coming out of her, and she's like, "Okay, who did I do?" Cursed fat suit. Yeah, there's a lot of ideas like costumes, turning or transformation stuff, or slime stuff, or whatever. Yeah, she just became the unintentional mascot character. Because I literally made Becky just to deal with my annoyance of stupid people. That's like the best way to put it. And then she ended up becoming my mascot. Cause I was like really fucking annoyed of just people being dumb. It's like, fat's not attractive. I'm like, okay, you don't have to like it. You can leave. Fat cat milf. Yeah, she's like, fuck. Sorry for bothering you. I want to offer a promotion for your channel and viewers. Blah 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 blah. No, thank you. Yeah, if that's a bother, then no, thank you. Yeah, like I know damn well I wouldn't be getting any of that kind of attention. The price is lower than compared. Yeah, that's definitely like I didn't even read all of that. I just saw like the first couple of words. And I was like, yeah, no. And then now that I'm actually reading, it's like, okay, yeah, hell no. Never pay for that shit. Yeah, I'll ban it. Might as well. I don't even fucking do that. I never banned anything. How do you ban? Oh, there we go. Yes, block. Alright, that should have done it, I think. And then I can just... can I delete this? Damn it, I'm trying to... Can I delete this? Whatever, it's blocked now, so whatever. If I can't get rid of the message, then whatever. I think because it's like a first time or something that I can't get rid of it. Whatever. Oh, this is banned. Then what the fuck is block for? There. Okay, then it also deletes it. Okay, cool. Neat. You're drunk? Shh, I wish. Anyway. It's like if I was already gonna ban you, then what the fuck is block gonna do? Or if I blocked you, then what's the point of banning? Are they chubby followed? Shh. At least I know people are into fat characters, and that's like not a thing that's going away anytime soon. So I don't have to sit there and go like, man, do I need to change up what I'm doing? I mean, I'm already doing that. Like, I'm gonna draw whatever the hell I'm into or want to draw. But it's always good to know that there's always somebody is into something. But I do want to venture out into other stuff every once in a while. So that's why I try to keep things interesting. Caitlin's story is taking a little bit longer than I intended, but I'm gonna keep going. I know, right? She's gonna get paid in booze. It better be the good shit. It's like, the fuck are these? Oh, they're called Buzz. And it's like, or Bud Lights or Buds or whatever the fuck they're called nowadays. And she's just be like, or Budweiser. And she's like, they're called Budweiser. And she takes a sip and she's like, the fuck is this, piss? It's like, what's it gonna do? It's gonna take like 30 of these just to make me feel anything. Like, she would literally take a drink of Budweiser and then just pull out a flask and spike it. She'd be like, yeah, no. Exactly. She's like, I want the shit that makes me make mistakes. She's like, I want the shit that's probably illegal. Okay. I think we're good. Just gotta do the chair. I know, right? She's like, give me that fucking moonshine. It takes a lot for Becky to actually get drunk because of her body type. And she has 2 stomachs. Because she a thick girl. Thick woman. Yeah, pretty much. And she was like, nah. She's like, nah, you're gonna sit here and draw. Sits on me. He's like, God damn it, like, move your fat ass. She's like, It's like, get to work, bitch. If I ever did like a school reunion thing or whatever for Becky, I would probably have like a lot of male characters like regret treating her like shit because of how thick she's gotten. And then they'd be all like, fuck, I wish she'd sit on me. and as she like passes by and she's like all insecure because of reasons. But once she gets fucking drunk, she ain't gonna give a shit. She'd be like, oh, fuck these guys. It'd be a miracle that she'd even show up, but assuming she did show up, that would be the case. And then whatever punch there is, she'd be spiking the hell out of that. Ballsy little mouse. Just a random mouse just showed up. Say, hey, what's up? Okay, so got these 2. This one shouldn't be too difficult, but it's gonna be a bitch to get right. Do. Nah, she wouldn't crash her car. She's been drinking long enough to know how to operate a vehicle while intoxicated. She would have to be drinking heavy shit for her to not to be able to drive. Ah. Well, if you end up catching it, decide whether or not you're gonna keep it as a pet. This is not okay. Hold on. What page is this? Is there anything on this page? Okay, go. It's one of those things where it's like, shit, I need this page, but gotta see if there's smut. I swear to God, half the time it just feels like this person is just reposting the same songs over and over. Yes, she is a very high-functioning alcoholic. Yeah, thanks. Hope you have a good July as well. Set traps. Yeah, I mean, do what you gotta do when it comes to mice and other pests. Never been a fan of alcohol personally, not just food that tastes. Well, usually if you're gonna drink, you want to do that around friends you can trust for one, and then you can always start with something small. Like, you don't have to go full on hard drinking. Just, you know, have like a bottle of like a wine cooler or something. Like, start small. If you're ballsy enough to work your way up, sure, but you only need like one or two, and then you're pretty much fine. You don't need to like constantly drink throughout the day unless you plan to do so. And if you do plan to do so, make sure you put your keys somewhere else and stuff like that, you know. Like, ensure that you're not going anywhere. Like, if you're drinking at a friend's house, plan to stay over. You know, stuff like that. You know, just be responsible, like, take precautions beforehand. And you should be good. Just, you know, again, if you're gonna drink around people you trust. And they will usually make if they're really good friends, they usually make sure that you're not going to be doing stupid shit, or at least say, hey, if you're drinking, give me your keys, type of thing. I never have to have that problem because, like, I don't plan. If I ever actually plan on drinking somewhere, I don't plan on like going anywhere unless I'm like sober, and it's like, yeah, I only have like 2 drinks. I ain't gonna do shit. And that's when we remember what we were doing. Oh wait, there we go. I know why that happens. There we go. I was like, what the fuck? Why did that? But yeah, just be responsible, plan ahead. Make sound decisions before you actually do anything. And definitely make sure the people you drink around are trustworthy. Was it? Yeah, it's those arrows. But yeah, I would say just start with like a wine cooler or something light that doesn't have much alcohol percentage in it, and then just go for like me. I prefer taste, so I usually drink like wine coolers or like sweet stuff because I like my girly drinks because they taste better. like if there have been people who have offered me like a Budweiser and stuff like that, and I'm usually too polite, so I just take it and just kind of baby it until it's gone, and then I go for the shit that I actually like. Usually my friends know what I like at this point, so they give me the good shit that I like. However, I cannot drink whiskey, though I drank whiskey one time, and I blacked out that day, and I was informed of shit that I did. So yeah, that is the thing that I cannot do. Maybe I can nowadays, but I have not done so since 2013. That was when I drank whiskey for the first time, and that was also the last time I drank whiskey. I don't recall how much whiskey I had. I just remember drinking one glass, and I don't know if I had more after that. I think I did, based on what I was shown from some pictures. I think I had more than one, or at least more alcohol after that whiskey. I do not know what alcohol that was, but that is what I was informed. So yeah, no whiskey for me. Nowadays, alcohol barely does anything unless I'm actively trying to get drunk. Like, I have to actually put effort into getting drunk. And it's not like I'm an alcoholic or anything, because I don't even drink a lot, or drink at all. Really, I don't. The only time I drink is it's like a occasion with friends, and that's like very rare nowadays. So like maybe like once or twice a year is when I drink nowadays, because that's the only time it ever comes up, and I don't drink on my own. If they had drinking in the Olympics, Becky would win. Depends on who she's up against, but I would say she would be a contender. It sounds like a Daedric quest in Skyrim. Becky ever taken booze from the back end? It's an old trick to get drunk faster. No. I would say she wouldn't, because it just kind of sucks the fun out. She's like, look, if I'm drinking, I'm gonna fucking drink it. I'm not gonna be a bitch and do it the other way. I could see Becky going to a party. He's like, "Oh, here," and she's like, "Oh, great, some alcohol." And then she takes a swig, and she's like, "The hell is this?" It's like, "Oh, it's non-alcoholic beer." And she's like, "Fuck." Or she'll like try not to make a scene, but then like once they like turn around and start talking to other people, she just pulls out a flask and starts spiking it. It's like, the fuck you mean non-alcoholic? She would definitely be able to tell if something had alcohol in it. I mean, it's really not hard to tell. Depending on the drink, of course. Oh yeah, she would be pissed if you gave her a case of non-alcoholic beer. Like, the moment she takes a sip, she'll just look at you and go like, you better start running. And given she's part horse, she's a pretty decent runner, even with her fat ass. And she's part kangaroo, so that's just even worse. And part cat, you know what? She's just a bunch of animals that could literally kill you. So you best be running. Nah, she wouldn't grab a shotgun because that's too quick. She wants you to fucking feel it. The guns are for pussies. Alright, so did all that. She's not gonna waste the time. If she's gonna use a gun, it's gonna be to make sure the problem is no longer a problem. Because that's the only reason why you would need a gun. Booze talking. Yeah, a lot of booze talk, honestly. Just Becky getting pissed off if she's being given non-alcoholic beer. Or alcohol at all. She'd be like, what is this pussy shit? Okay, so next. Is this the same color as this? The answer is yes. Becky in Saitama costume. Her fat ass would just rip it. Gets elastic material. Yeah, it just stretches it all out, and it's just like hugged to her curves. See her pooch belly and extra tits while hugging her giant tits. You know, tight clothing is just going to be revealing on her regardless. Yep. That's why bras are expensive. She's like, son of a bitch, you gotta give me another one of these. Seeing how expensive these are, it's like, fuck me. It's like 60 plus. And that's just for fucking D-cups. I mean, they're probably more expensive now, shit. To research. Bra prices decup. Tell me, what do I need? What am I missing? Fulfill me with knowledge. Oh, they're doing a sale at Victoria's Secret. Like, pretty much half off. 48Ds are like almost 40 bucks. That's good. At least they're like slightly cheaper depending on where you go. But then it depends on the brand as well. Yeah, some of these are like random brands that I've never heard of, but the Victoria's Secret ones are on a sale and stuff like that. Yeah, because this one's like 13 bucks and it's a double. Is it double or triple? It's hard to tell. Because it has like 2 capital letter D's, but then the third one is a lowercase. I'm just going to assume this is triple D. But yeah, Victoria's Secret does a lot of sales. Oh, the number of times I've been dragged into Victoria's Secret hanging out with my friends, because all my friends are female. Well, that's not true. I have some male friends, but the majority of my friends are women. Big bitches. Yeah, she'd probably say something witty, assuming she's not too drunk. If someone's talking shit on her, and she's like, "You can kiss the fattest part of my ass." Although if she's not careful, I'm sure somebody will take her up on that. But even then, she's like, "Well, it's like, well, if you're gonna chance it, I'm gonna make it hurt." No, that is not a deer. She is a fox. At least that's what I recall making her. Shit. What did I put for this bitch? I gotta remember. God help me trying to fucking spell her name. It's easier just to find her on E621 or whatever thing I posted her on. She should be over here. Did I pass it already? I think I passed it. God damn it. Where the hell is it? Ah, there she is. Yes, she is a fox. I was like, I'm pretty sure I marked her as a fox. Yeah, Velamia. It's like, good luck fucking spelling it. So yeah, she's done. Technically don't have to do anything with this, but I probably should just for the fuck of it. Because I think it's just too bright just for the fuck of it, but let's change the color. We'll get all witty and just make the bubbles stand out. Kind of depends. Like, Becky can be chill to talk to, but you just have to catch her on a really good day. Because she has a lot of issues. And then she just doesn't like people for the most part, so you just have to get her in a state where she's chill with talking to somebody. Like, I don't know, bring her a drink and then start chatting after a while. She'll probably warm up enough to be able to be talkative. It would depend on if she's in the mood to be asked out. Because she has gotten around, but... Well, if I'm going by actual lore, she's already in a relationship, so she wouldn't cheat on anybody. But if she was single, then you just have to catch her on a good day. Okay, so did all that. Yay, video, so fun part of coloring this. This is gonna be a bitch. I don't wanna... If there's any time for me to give a shit about AI, this would be that time. Coloring is definitely a freaking thorn on my side. I have the manga of the first the first series because I know there's like a second there's like a second series set of books now. I haven't gone to the second ones because I honestly I kind of dropped it after finishing the first season or arc or not even arc but the first set of books because it's just like for me it just kind of felt like the same things were going on in a circle. And the main character doesn't get that fat, if I'm being brutally honest. Because like you gotta understand, me coming from the background that I come from when it comes to lewd art, that shit is like so fucking low bar. It's like I've already seen the good shit. Yeah, like I bought the book because it was about a chunky elf who has a hard time losing weight. And there's only like one moment in the story where she actually gets a little bit fatter, but not by much. There's like one little part where she gets a little bit fatter. I don't know if they'll exaggerate more in the anime. So I guess I would have to wait and see if there's like a clip or something that comes up. And I'd be like, okay, I'll jump in. But I'm just not motivated to watch it just because I already know what to expect, because it's honestly less about the weight gain and the exercising and all that, and it's more of just the characters are monster girls. That's basically all it is. Pretty sure the manga had some nudity. Yeah, the manga has nudity. Maybe not in the first chapter. I mean, it's been a long time since I've read the first book because I have it physically. I didn't read it online. I waited for each chapter to come out normally. But there is some nudity in the manga. Like the dark elf just has a fat ass. That's like her whole gimmick. And even then, her ass isn't that big. Like, I guess the biggest problem is that I've seen better because of just the artwork that people make on a regular. So my standards are a little bit higher than they should, or way higher than they should, than what's targeted. Yeah, she's just chunky. She's not that fat. She's like chunky to like kind of thick, and that's kind of it. Like that's the extent that she ever gets. And then the series itself is mostly just focused on monster girls because like various monster girls or creature girls show up in the story. And then again, there's only one moment in the whole story where she gets a little bit, where the main elf girl gets a little bit fatter than normal, but that's it. Like it doesn't get that, it doesn't go that far. But to be fair, I don't know if the anime will exaggerate and go deeper than that, or you know, make it bigger than what she was. But I'm likely to not watch it just because I already experienced it through the manga itself. And again, there is a second series of it, like a second spin-off or whatever it is, a continuation of it. But I just wasn't interested. Like maybe I'll look it up. I'll look up the second series and see if it gets in, if they like change things up or make things more interesting. But other than that, it's like I've seen better. Like I would rather read like Kip's stories, or you know, double back to like Hetty or something like that if I want that kind of fix, or even just look at fan art because they go harder than that book. Not to say like the book isn't bad. Like don't get me wrong. Like there's nothing wrong with the actual manga. It's just for the theme and what it's going for, I've seen better. But yeah, other than that, the story and all that is fine for what it is. But if I'm sticking around for the theme, I've seen better. But I mostly just kept reading it because, you know, I actually was interested in like the actual story and all that. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, is she gonna get fatter at any point? I understand her goal is to lose weight, so that's not like a thing that's not gonna happen. But I am just like not interested in the anime just because I already know what to expect. And yeah, it just gets repetitive because it's like it's more of like a comedy slice of life monster girl with some characters being called thick or semi chunky or fat to a lesser degree. Like they're more chunky than fat. Like to me minimum fat would be, God, what's the best way to explain this? I would say, like, let me pull this up just so I have a bit of reference, because it's really hard to pinpoint what I would consider like minimum. I gotta wait for my drive to wake up and say, hey, wake up. Like, what's the best example for this? Might as well go to Faf because he actually has a decent example of what I'm talking about. Where the hell is Hetty? Oh, you know what? It might be in a different folder. Yeah, it is. It's in a different folder. Let's see. It's a what chapter is this? 4. Yeah, I would say like chapter 4, or let me see chapter 3 real quick. Chapter 3 is a pretty decent. No, chapter 3 is like a little bit would be more on the chunky. No, because she's still kind of slim in certain areas. Because I'm going off of like her not eating anything first. So yeah, I would say like the early pages of chapter 3 would be like the minimum fat. Yeah, like chapter 3 page... What page is this? Page 11 would be like the minimum. And even then, that's like still lowballing it. It's like, yeah, that's pretty much the lowest you could go. Yeah, because I have multiple folders for different themes and stuff like that, I have to like actually decide what goes where. So when I look at like thick and fat, thick to me is more of the thighs and ass ratio, and like and boobs. So like all like those areas have to be thicker than the belly, or at least the belly is not as big as those areas. And then when it's fat, it's like more overall the character is big. And then I have like other categories, you know, like large breast, hyper, blah 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 blah. But yeah, that's how I split things up. Also helps when I'm looking for reference, so that way I know where to immediately go to. Yes, I do categorize body thickness. That's why, and then I also go for like usefulness of the artwork. Like if I plan on using it for reference, I want to use it to a good degree. Like I don't want it to be like basic shit. Like basic stuff can be fun, but it kind of depends on me. Like if it leans more into like balloon size, then that goes into like the balloon folder, which I just put as other kinks because it's just like a bunch of random shit. But yeah, I do categorize everything. Fat file systems. I mean, I've been doing this for years. That's how I know my shit. So like, cause like every time I see people go like, oh, that character is thick on like, you know, like anime girls and stuff like that, I'm sitting there going like, that is not thick. That is average. What the fuck are you people talking about? It's like, you people do not know what thick is. Like they assume that a little bit of thigh squish is thick. And I'm like, no, you have to look at the overall proportions of the character. Not just, oh, hey, look, they have thigh squish, thus they're thick. I'm like, no, that's not how that works. You can get thigh squish just by having smaller leggings. Oh, you can try to actually mean good luck with that shit. I will figure out how to counter it. Because again, you can have smaller leggings and get thigh squish. That doesn't mean you're thick. Yes, I've been doing this way too long. Like, I've been deep dived into these things since I was 13. I was like in 6th or 7th grade at that time. Yes, I am old. And I realize I missed some rust, but I'll have to do that later. But yeah, like, that's when I get anal about that shit. I mean, I'm 35, so, but But yeah, that's what I get all anal about that stuff when people are like, "Oh my god, they're so thick." And I'm like, "Bitch, you don't know what thick is." It's like, that is not thick. That is basic. That is average. Like, Becky is thick. Marcy is fat. There's a difference. And then you have like the weird psychology with it where, at least back in the day, I don't know if women still do this, but some women thought that having big breasts meant that they were fat. And to some situations, that's probably true, but that was always confusing me. I was like, you just have big boobs, that doesn't mean you're fat. That are thick and fat, I mean, that's basically Marcy. Because if you're fat, you're fat. I mean, you kind of overlap the thick part. Unless it's like a specific scenario where you're more pear-shaped or something like that. Because, like, at least for me, the belly is what's being taken into account. For at least the classification of fat. Because that's how I break it up. Yeah, like there are women who are overall skinny but just have like giant tits or big butt for like no reason type of thing. It's like only like one aspect of them is big. And that can be more of a genetic thing or whatever the case may be. Yeah, like Watermelon, she just has hyper boobs. But the rest of her is either average or skinny. And usually if you're bottom heavy, but you don't have much of a belly, then you'd just be considered like, you know, just thick. Like you could have a belly and be thick, or have like thick thighs, but then that leans more into like just being fat at that point. But again, it depends on the whole belly ratio thing. Depends on how big the belly is at that point. I would say the closest to being thick and fat, or like to be considered that, like the closest thing to it would be, what's the best example? Let me see if I have anything that matches that. Thick and fat. Maybe Apricot? She might be the closest, or maybe Coconut is probably close to that. Those are probably the best examples of that, because that's probably like the closest you get before you go into one or the other. Let me see. Bread is about the same as Coconut, maybe a little bit thicker. So maybe Bread not including her tail is probably like the max before you start going into other stuff. You should write a book of thickness with the knowledge of... Nah. I'm already doing enough. There is irony with watermelon having hyper tits. Yeah, she basically has huge headlights. But yeah, like I would say bread is probably the max of being thick and fat before you start leaning into one or the other. Yeah, because it's like the belly is still on the more chunkier side, but the other assets are still larger. So yeah, I would say bread is probably like the max of that before you start going into being actually fat, or if you're like skinnier than that, then being just thick. So yeah, that's probably the closest example I can think of at the moment. In that situation, like if I was to save artwork of bread, like in her default state, I would probably toss her into thick just because of my personal standards of like the actual fat art that I save and all that. I would probably toss her into the thick category if I had to choose between the two. Does bread get fatter the hotter she gets until rising? No. Although that would be funny. Oh, it was just random. I just like the collector sets are all random, unless I decide to like take a suggestion or do a voting or something. They're all random. I'm just picking characters that I'm interested in drawing. Like right now, I'm thinking of drawing either one of my human characters or Kitsune or whoever else that I haven't drawn in a while. Or I don't know, maybe I'll just get bored and horny and just draw like Blake doing shit, and then coin toss between if it's fat Blake or skinny Blake. Maybe I'll draw Blake pregnant, I don't know. Have Eddie put some babies in her. Horny gel for me, bitch, I'd break out. That or I'm already in the horny gel. It's like I never left. But yeah, I'm mostly just drawing whatever themes and stuff like that, trying to change things up. Because like, I'm fully aware people are more, the current audience that I have are more into like weight gain and fat stuff. Like that's, I'm not blind to that. But I do like drawing other things. Oh yeah, I'm definitely a lifer. I've been a lifer since I was fucking 13, man. That shit ain't going. Like, I insured my spot. Like, if there was any, like, if hell exists and I was for sure going to hell, I was already insured for that a long ass time ago. Had my ticket for that place way ahead of time. It's like, what are you here for? And drew a lot of fat art, apparently. Guess that gets you into hell. Furry hell. Yeah, I should draw Essence again. It's been a good while since I've drawn her. Been a good while since I've drawn a lot of characters. There's Rosie, there's Violet, there's whatever the fuck name I gave M since I revamped her a bit. Becky being in heat, she's in bed taking a smoke before around 12. Well, she wouldn't be fucking Eddie, she'd be fucking Pax, her boyfriend. And yeah, he would be definitely grabbing some water bottles. If anyone's going to be fucking Eddie, it's going to be Blake. Okay, now for the annoying buildings. Yeah, if it was Blake, then yeah, she's gonna be fucking him like a horny rabbit. Or like the horny rabbit she is. I know, right? Like her father's gonna be like, "Welcome to the family, Eddie," and then just hands him an ice pack and go like, "You're gonna need this." He's like, "What?" Fuck him raw. Oh yeah. Bad bombers are fun. I just drew rats that got into an accident that turned their bodies into explosives. Basically their lore. That's it. That is the extent of what happened there. I have no plans on making a comic about them because they are not actual characters. At least not at the moment. If I ever decide to do lore shit for them, then that's way in the future. Blake's dad gives him a jumbo jar of lube. Yeah, he'll need that too. Yeah, basically. Bomber Rat 64. Yeah, that's why I made the Blast Twins, where their whole thing is that they just like blowing other shit up. And one just stuffs herself with grenades. Yeah, I could make them like low tier supervillains, because they can like blow themselves up and then regenerate. So they would have to be addressed with a character who could handle something like that. Someone with a lot of durability. And they already deal with like other supernatural things, so that wouldn't be far-fetched to do. Yeah, they just have a water cooler by the bed, or at least like across the room or something, or somewhere after a good fucking night. Just Blake snuggling on with a pillow as Eddie grabs some water and brings one for her too, just in case. Because he's a good husband and always tends to her needs. I don't feel like being hyper accurate with these buildings. I could care less about the buildings, honestly. I'm only going into this much detail because I have to. My environments will suck for a good while before I get any better at it. Because at this point, I'm just establish where they are and then go from there. I'm not super crazy about environments, at least for now, until I get better at drawing them on my own time. Or if I can hodgepodge a background with a bunch of images put together, then I'll do that too. Or both, whichever comes first. Oh, Georgia. Yeah, she's fun. Oh yeah, he'd be fucking limping if he was trying to get water first. He'd be trying to get up and like, fuck. Or they both just be passed out in bed, which is whatever happens. Good on that. And I am going to grab a texture for this, just so it doesn't look so fucking plain. Georgia would take the cake, but the cake would be so small to her. She would need at least a single truckload just to feel like she has like a slice. And then again, her actual size is bigger than a fucking planet, so depends on where she is. True, quality does matter, but she's had like so many things you'd have to really surprise her with something. How gritty do I want this fucking building? Yeah, because then even if you gave her quality cakes, you just want more. So, if anything, you better be able to bring her both the quantity and quality. That should be fine, because I'm gonna do stuff later. And the question is, do I want to use that as a layer? I'm gonna go with yes. some reason, I just imagine worshippers would do something similar to what Pokemon did for Munchlax, feed him something small. Nah. She would look at that and go like, well, that was a waste. She is here for the good shit. Why? Why are you being dumb? Oh, that's why you're being dumb. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Now it works. And then the satellite is a satellite. I don't give a shit. It's gonna be old and gritty. It's like, look, Joanne does not live in a fancy area. Yeah, she doesn't like being compared to or confused with gluttony, because gluttony is just eating without care, like not even for the satisfaction, is just stuffing your face mindlessly. That's why she doesn't care for gluttony. And she definitely hates being compared to it, because it's like, oh yes, look how gluttonous they are. It's like, no, you're missing the point. So that's why she detests it. Because there is a decent difference between the two. I would say good luck if you tried. As long as she doesn't forget that you're mortal and doesn't make you explode. Queen Bee Helaba. She would see Queen Bee stuff and just think it's cute. But she would also give her some credit for having other characters indulge, whether it be food or alcohol and all that, because Queen Bee gets it at that point, even though she's technically supposed to represent gluttony. But yeah, she would just see that, at least as much for what they've shown of her, she would just see that and just think it was cute. But yeah, I could see the two hanging out. And it has been shown that Queen Bee is much larger than she appears. So that'll help out. Would the windows be dirty? Yeah, I can see it being dirty. Because it's not like anyone's gonna fucking clean them unless someone complains or something, or at least tries to make things look nice. Yeah, technically. I just split the two, since gluttony already exists in my world. So I have one that's an actual god that represents it, and one that's like a more of a, what's the best way to put it? Kind of like a demigod, I guess the best way to explain it. So I just split the difference where it's like one's about actually enjoying it, and the other one's about just mindlessly doing it. Okay, let's see how this looks. Yeah, that was fine. Do I have any grass anywhere? Just the map. Yeah, this is fine. Use that color. Yeah, if I ever did like a crossover thing, I could probably do something like that. Have Yorjadov fatten up Queen Bee. Okay, one building down. Might call it for now and take a break. Let me just give this building its initial color. Won't be much longer until I finish this, because once I'm done doing this, I just gotta do all the rendering and such. Let's make this one green as well. Yeah, I can see. Well, with Yorjadov, it'd be horrifying because she won't stop. Because if it tastes good, she'll just keep going because she'll enjoy it. And she'll actually have to be stopped. And then it's debatable on if Yorjadov actually gains weight or if she's just permanently in the size that she's in. Because technically her stomach is just like its own universe inside, because she can swallow like galaxies and stuff. Granted, she stopped doing that ever since she accidentally ate Daylock. But they still somewhat exist in her stomach unless I decide, you know, they're being slowly digested by just becoming an oblivion. Yeah, like if I consider the inside of her stomach like a black hole, then like things will probably be like stretched and shredded and destroyed and stuff at some point. So it kind of just depends on where I go about that and if it's even relevant to anything. It's one of those, is it information that's even necessary? to know. But currently the lore that I put out is that she does have like things floating around in her stomach as if it's like another dimension, and she has swallowed Daylock before, and it's taken Daylock like a few years to actually get out. Yeah, but like you wouldn't even know that she has swallowed you at that point, because you would technically be considered a galaxy or a planet or whatever that was cited to be eliminated or deleted technically. So you wouldn't realize that you've just been devoured and tossed away type of idea. And then if I want to go, I mean, realistically, I would probably go dark with it at some point. So like it would be like, okay, she swallowed a galaxy, the galaxy still technically exists, it's still floating around like its own star and stuff like that. And then at some point there would probably like be some type of environmental catastrophe where the planets themselves and like the galaxy itself is just starting to break down and disintegrate. Just like actively being disintegrated without any actual cause. So like for example, you would just start seeing like mountains just starting to like dust away. Yeah, kind of like Galactus. That would probably be like the best way to explain that. Yeah. And not like become energy or anything, is just like fade away. Like it just breaks down, becomes like ash or whatever, and is just gone. I guess what the best visual example would be like the Thanos snap thing, but like on a actual global level, not just people. It's like literally the planet and galaxy itself are just turning to dust. Yeah, but there's no telling when that would actually happen, because I haven't explained how her digestive system works. So for all we know, that doesn't occur for like 100 years or thousands of years or something like that. It just actively happens after a certain amount of years or something. So who knows? Maybe it doesn't happen at all. But there's nobody to tell, because nobody's going inside her stomach to find out. But yeah, if I were to make it dark, I would probably like tell a story of just characters just living or whatever, and then suddenly there's like this global catastrophe where everything is just fading away or being pulled up into the sky and then being destroyed and dissolved, and they don't know why. And then it cuts to like zooming out of the universe, and then you realize that galaxy or whatever has been devoured by Yorjadov, and they were basically just being digested. Nah, I wouldn't want it to be that way, because it would kind of just defeat the point at that. Because it's like, okay, you got eaten, nothing wrong, and it kind of served no purpose for her to do that at that point. I could always say that there's a paradise at some point. Oh, you got an ad. I'll wait. Use another texture for this. Like, I can always make an actual paradise for indulging, like just an actual like island or something that has characters who are just getting fat just because they have no worries and stuff like that. I can always do something like that, but I'd probably make it like somehow tied to Yorjadov. Just like she's like experimenting with an island of just indulging and having the satisfaction of you know, eating all kinds of food and stuff like that. And no idea if it would actually serve any actual purpose other than just, you know, being eye candy. Because if it's in its own isolated thing, then that's basically all it is. But yeah, like nothing's stopping me from making stuff like that. But I would probably, like, if I'm going to make a paradise, I'd probably do something like that rather than just saying people survive in Yorjadov's stomach, rather than it becoming a negative. All right, you have a good night. I'm probably gonna log off as well because gonna take a break. Yeah, I'm just gonna. I only got the building left to. This last building to color and put some texture on, and then the rest just goes down to rendering, so you know, like the shading and stuff for all the characters and whatnot. So I'll probably get this finished tonight and maybe post it in the morning or something like that, and yeah, go from there. But yeah, thank you everybody for hanging out. I will try to stream again tomorrow. If I'll likely post like an hour before I do so, just to ensure that it's happening. I'm trying not to make promises and then end up not doing them. So I'm gonna try, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I'll try to do it. Like maybe I'll do it Wednesday, because that way I can like kind of break it up a bit. So yeah, maybe like Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays sound like a good idea. So yeah, let's do that. So I'm gonna try go for Wednesday. But yeah, you guys have a good night. I will work on this more after I take a break, and yeah, I'll try to have it up by tomorrow. So you guys take care. All right, bye bye.